Now I'm going to tell you some very interesting insight that I foresee, and the attitude that both the states and the owners, the chairman and MDs, CEOs have to change, and the HR directors have to change, and that is irrespective whether you are privately held small businesses or you are a multinational. In Indian perspective, the labor I'm going to refer here are primarily the white collar labor, uh, but also somewhere this mantra, this philosophy, and this insight is applicable even for the blue collar labor. Now, this is quite interesting. The I'm continuously all my businesses, since they are strategic consulting or videos or most of the high end ones, I have to deal directly with the decision makers, who comes either in the chairman, board of directors, highest level trustees, uh, or directly the director marketing, something like that. So I found a very interesting insight. Indians still have the attitude, we are the seeds. It is true, but then it's 2018, dude. Today, everyone have internet on their mobile, and this is true. Even in the construction labor that I'm seeing, they also have smartphones, China-made ones, Geo5 one, and they are accessing internet and Facebook and WhatsApp in Hindi and local language. So, gentlemen, the point is pretty simple. Today is an age where competent person who is proactive enough, enterprising enough, will make his way. 2018 and beyond, what I see is a lot of mid-sized companies, a lot of people who are going to be entrepreneur on a mid-sized level. And this time I'm not referring those people who are starting and closing in 1 or 2 years, but the old era where you had some 10 5 big company groups like Tatas, Birlas, Ambanis. They still will be like most people who are in marketing business, marketing directors and research, they will totally agree that real revenue of India doesn't come with the macros. The real revenues come from the tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities, and now gradually from the rural market. So they are real buyers, they are real consumers, and they have become really street smart people. They have become very practical and professional about their work. They understand this pretty simple thing, that if you are giving me a job, I'm giving you a service. I'm asking for what I'm paid for. If you force me, and so the attitude here as a owner, even I'm a small owner of a consulting, I only have 1 or 2 people, and family, I do not want to expand, but this is the necessity that you have to have some assistant or someone to basically manage a lot of stuff. So uh, I have understood, and I have adopted this simple philosophy that me as a owner, or you as a chairman, MD, CEO, director, have to understand that today, if you want a labor who whom you want to bootlick you, who want to lie you are not ready to pay affluently to him. By the time he is there, he is sufficiently smart. If he's really hardworking, if he's really a proactive person, if he's really sincere on his efforts and is committed and sincere, he will simply leave you, or by the time he's with you, he will curse you, he will do some what is called, it's just okay work to manage the stuff till he gets a salary or next best opportunity. The case I'm here going to tell you is 2015. There was a company I worked with. I'm not going to tell the name of the directors or whatever it is. There was a director, let's say his name A, and below the director was the pan India sales head. That's a very small digital agency with less than 20 employees. It is 2005. It was 2015 January around, and when I joined them, this director, I approached them for a research related vacancy, which the director, after going with my entire now the HR, if wanted to refuse me, he shouldn't have called me. But that is the way India works, and internationally also they work, because HR is under the pressure to do all the paperwork thing, that okay, we have worked on it. So he called me for a director level, and then the HR said, the director within first 30 seconds said, we cannot accept you on a research role. Now to me, it was a common sense that if I'm living in a costly Mumbai like place, where it takes me entire 3 hours to come to your office, 1 hour for waiting you, and another 3 hours to go back to my place in the local convenience, if you were not ready to accept me, And being a small digital agency for less than 20-30 employees, why have you called me? Okay, now I'm a white collar labor. Now you can transfer me, instead of for marketing, you can transfer me as a IT professional, or a finance guy, or a CA, or whatever it is. This is the mindset that happens, if you are an owner. The very next thing is that the second day I got a call from the HR, and they say we also have a sales vacancy if you are interested to join. Now, because I didn't had a job, I didn't had financially strong background, I needed something to hang on till there. So I said, maybe would you be interested if I perform explicitly? I asked the HR, if I perform in your sales job, will you be interested? That probably 3 6 months down the line you will transfer me internally. Now what happened, interestingly, they agreed. Okay, fine. uh, on their website, it was clearly said that their salary package as a startup for sales executive is 30,000 rupees. They paid me 25,000. Well, which was grossly insufficient to live in Bombay, even from 2015 uh, standards. Now I thought it is 25,000 in hand, you know. But what happened here? Also they backstep, and I'm telling you how a competent person like me, how does a typical owner and the chairman and the CEO, especially of a company, whether it's multinational or small, you know uh, they lose competent people, and how they eventually are backstabbed again because of their philosophy. This is the entire episode. I went outside. Great, nothing wrong. Pretty interesting case study from both point of view, if you are a white collared service provider, or you are a owner. This is very interesting case study. Depends if you are ready to learn lesson. Now, okay, I joined it. Now I was assuming that 25,000 is in hand, because below that you can't even have food. If you are not getting food and medicines, or necessities like covered up, living on a sharing basis in dormitory in Bombay, how can you expect a person being committed and sincere onto you? But this is the way India is. The Indian digital bosses, and Indian bosses, and the Indian chairmen and MDs and CEOs, who think that they have a private limited company, they are ready to put in a flashy office and things like that. They think, idiots, that they can fool a competent person. If you are And these are the persons who are ready to spend more money on a flashy office, on a very comfortable every lifestyle, but they are not ready to give even the basic necessities of food and medicines. They are going to backstep for a competent labor. And this is what happened. Now what exactly happened inside the story, it will be even more interesting. When I went inside, I joined him. I found that this director, say A, I was interviewed by, I will have to report to head of sales, which was which say B. Now director A used to come only 2 or 3 times in the office. He came with a typical thing. He had a background of a salaried person who have climbed the ladders and become a very senior director in a big multinational for 30 years. And now, because it's a retired time, and he doesn't have anything, he already had a retired PF and others, he invested in a digital agency, persuaded by his other friends and relatives. So now he hired an incompetent, sweet talking bootlicker sales head, whom I had to report to, which I am saying, referring as B. The sales head was a very cunning person, very smart, very sweet talking. In front of the director A, he used to talk to me very nicely, and once he's out, he used to start being rude to me. Now, because I was in a competent zone, because I didn't had sufficient money to survive, I put in my 100%. When it comes to telecalling, when everyone was only putting just okays or excuses, I was giving 111% efforts on cold calling. Within 7 days, it started bringing results. I started getting some genuine quality leads. The action was clear, because rest all is doing some time pass, the normal time pass of the bosses being talking to each other, and doing some paperwork. And I was for 8 hours uh, putting in on phone and doing the telecalling. So the results was quite obvious to everyone. Now the entire thing is, see the incompetence, see how incompetent people have, when you have if you are a boss, and you end up losing at every end, because the boss was incompetent and full and wanted everything for free. Idiots. if I'm competent enough, I know what I'm paid for. You are not even giving me what sufficient is. Why the bloody hell will I be interested as a labor, as a service provider, to work with you? You know, I've worked and I've done all this hard work to make money out of it, and you are not even ready to pay what you have committed, or you are backstabbing on and trying to act smart. Once I am inside your office, you are acting smart and putting some other way. Now, because this person was incompetent and only wanted the bootlickers kind of person, his entire circle and the sales head and the entire sales team other than me was only full of bootlickers. And the entire, that's the kind of person these kind of insecure entrepreneurs or owners have, because they still have the same mindset, or they are this in this case it was the guy who have turned himself from a multinational background, but he wanted to be, he think himself that he's a brilliant entrepreneur, and he still had the same mindset. And he thought, entrepreneurship is just like the same thing like investing in stocks. You buy the flat and you can rent it out and things like that. It's not that easy to become a businessman. Now, whatever is the case, third even more interesting thing happened. I was now by the 15th and 20th date, by the 30th date, I was started getting lots of inquiries, and I was selling digital agency related stuff to many big companies. I got some small business, mid-size, which the sales head rejected. Not because the director doesn't want it, just because sales head doesn't want to travel 5 hours, 4 hours in his car, which was paid by the company, to a distinct location in between, in the exterior of Mumbai Metro, and come 4 hours back for a half an hour meeting. So because of that, he asked me to go ahead and just does the paperwork. And because obviously when I went to the client, the client said, I wanted to talk to your sales head. If you are such a small agency and you have an attitude of I will not entertain a small level person. And I came back and told them that the sales head, who was a bootlicker to director, blamed it on me, found out some way. Now, my problem was pretty clear. I didn't had sufficient money to survive, so I had to survive till I get my salaries. And India, it doesn't work the way legal systems are more complicated. It costs more money to have legal thing. So I waited somehow for 10-15 days, and the entire team and everyone who are bootlickers to or non-performers were against me. Those who understood that I am a performer, they also understood very clearly that this guy is going to leave as soon as the salary comes. Naturally, I will now. What you are paying me? What? I'm working hard for you. If you are paying me in this costly money, you are not paying me for free, dude. I'm working hard for you. You might be full of incompetent and non-performers, but someone who's performing, who knows that I'm working hard, I'm slogging like anything, I'm putting my 111%. If you won't pay, someone else pay. So it's like this. If I'm a labor, if I'm not getting a job in construction, in a construction company, some other construction company, or maybe I will start repairing some other work or some other work, I know I have to work hard. So if I'm a competent person who is a performer, I'm not going to bootleg you. And at least not someone when you are not even when you are backstepping on my food and medicine, or not even giving what you are committed. Now, the most important thing that happened, as soon as my salary came, I went out and naturally I sent an email that, because of XYZ reason, I'm leaving you. I do not want to put in an apology, because I'm leaving you. See the attitude of these owners. They are the Indians. They are the Indian states. They might have think themselves so brutally, and how eventually this entire company and this entire board of directors lose up everything. When I left back, next day I receive an email from the HR that you are fired from the company. I just replied back, boss, I have left you. You haven't fired me. So, but the email was blocked. Eventually, nothing wrong. 2 years later, this was 2015 January, 2016 somewhere around November, September, October. I eventually got all of a sudden on my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and everywhere. I got message from the director A, and director A said, I want to talk to you, and this is my number. Talk to me immediately. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. So eventually he agreed. I said, okay, give me a call on Sunday at 12 o'clock noon, because I'm quite busy with things. He gave me a call early morning, 7 or 6:37 on Sunday. Dude, Now see the attitude in these people who are so full of superiority. They are losing at every end, but they are so full of superiority that we are the boss, we are the saints. Dude, who the hell cares about you? I mean, it's 2018, dude. I'm a performer. If you are not paying me, someone else will. If not, then I'm created it, and that's what I did. I started my own consulting, and eventually, writing small and start after getting a lot of ups and downs. I'm managing on my own. So, but see the attitude of these people, and see how labor market and respond to it. In 2016, this person gives me a call early morning at 6:30, and they say, boss director, we had this amazing opportunity to. What are you doing? I said, sir, I'm already having my small consulting, and I'm managing well. Thank you very much. So he said, uh, uh, my head of sales B, whom you was not in good terms, and for what you wrote an email which was really nice. I totally agree, everything was true, but my head of sales have left. uh, and so actually, we have a special offer for you, and we have some consign some agreement. If you can do the research, we have the offer for you. So I was slightly slack back, and see the highest level of atrocity of this attitude of bosses. First, I threw you out. You are not ready to commit what you have asked me, that I will pay me 25,000 when your website and everything was saying 30,000 per month, which is the basic necessity. It's like $10 per hour, minimum wage rate of US. You said 30,000 Indian currency per month. When I came to you, you said I will pay you only 25,000 because I didn't had food and medicines. I was forced to be there. So I said, okay, fine, let's see. Then you backstab me again and say, okay, the 25,000 already includes your traveling and mobile and everything expenses. So my in hand was less than 21,000. Oh, idiot. And now, and then after 1 month, I left you. At the time when I sent you an email, you and your HR showed a corporate policy that you showed an attitude that you are firing me. Great. I totally understand, sir. It was my fault. I was a performer labor in an incompetent in-performer company headed by a owner director who is only full of bootlickers and who wants everything for free. And then he wants to backstab. I'm so grateful to God that I wasted only 2 months of my life on it. The second thing happened. Even more interesting thing happened. In 2016, when you're calling me, you are showing me an attitude. You are not asking me whether I want to join your company, or you are not asking me a sorry or apology or any kind of thing. On the contrary, you are shooting me that we have this assignment, and we want to if you are interested in this, and kindly complete it, and this. Excuse me, I'm not that nice. That doesn't mean that have accepted your assignment. And the idiot director, naturally, who was only full of bootlickers, who was going running down with money, and he have taken out the loans. His non-performer so-called bootlicker sales team have already left him when they have found better opportunities. So he needed a performer, but idiot, it's 1.5 years, 2 years now. I've already been settled. Why will I wait for you? And even if I have to join someone, why will I go to someone whom I already know is a bastard who's only going to rape me? At least I've already been clear, na? And now if you are approaching me, if I have hurted you, it is a common sense thing that me as a boss will have approached to you in a polite and diplomatic way, apologizing for my behavior. On the contrary, he was overfluent with attitude, because you know why? They think they are boss. And eventually, after this incident happened, 6 months down the line, the entire company collapsed. The owner director have closed the company. Most of all the employees have left. All the good employees have already left. And the other bootlickers who were available, they also left, because they were not able to, the director was not able to pay 2 or 3 months of salary. So dude, the point is pretty simple. It's 2018. Indian labor, both white collared and blue collared, have become really street smart. If they are working with you, they are paying for it. So whether you are a private limited company, closed limited company, if you show that boss attitude, we are street smart enough and diplomatic enough to lie to you and bootlick you, provided you at least give an honest, what I'm paid for. At least you are doing it. But as soon as we have a better opportunity, we will leave you. If you come to the manipulative terms of all these sweet talking gimmicks, idiots, you are basically, if you are the owner director, idiot, not on the payroll of a multinational where you can do all this bossing shit, because the other person is, because the other person who's below your assistant is also paid in six figures and seven figures. On the contrary, if you are the owner director, rest assured that you are backstepping and fooling your own self. Indian labor today have become very smart, and in future is an opportunity. They understand, we as a labor, me as a service provider, understand very clearly that it is me who is putting in committed consistent effort, and I am taking a reasonable competitive value for money price for what I am working hard for. Now this is for only responsible and sincere person. Now if you as a owner or the client or a director is not ready to understand the current labor scenario, what was there, I do not want to listen. Idiot, in 2 to 3 years you will end up losing any and everything, like this director who lost me in 2015, and then they put in the hands and try to and showed me more attitude and lost, and eventually by 2018 17 18 he closed up every shop and losing any and every of his pf and retirement benefits, whatever money he had saved. So it is just the same mantra. A competent person, if today's age is damn smart, as a as a sincere professional, I have it takes me the same amount of mind share, time share and efforts to give an email or a phone call or a WhatsApp message to an incompetent, irresponsible bootlicker boss who's trying to be bossy and attitude kind of thing. If I, the second I have get a better opportunity, I will leave. Or any other professional, any sincere professional who is doing real hard work and competent will leave. You cannot fool a hard working competent person because you think you are a boss. You might be a money, you might be whatever. I am getting paid for what I work hard. Second you will, I know very clearly, the second you will get a better, me as a labor knows very clearly, the second you will get a better competent person, you will hire him. So even I'm street smart enough as a labor, as a employee, as a uh, service provider. So if you are the Indian owner, director, chairman, CEO, Seth, or whatever it is, be alert, be responsible, start honoring competent performer by paying them affluently. Don't waste your money on false grandeur of big offices and flashy cars and things like that. Only idiots work for it, or complete amateurs who are newly experienced are the ones who say, oh, this is a big office and he's a big office and he's treating me well, probably he will pay me well. No one who is experienced and who have self-respect, who wants to get paid for his what he earned, is going to be in your business. He's not someone who already have. As soon as they understand your trap, they will simply move ahead, and in 2 to 3 years span you will end up collapsing your own self, because you are surrounded by the bootlickers, and the bootlickers whom you have trusted with all your money and everything, they will simply move to some another even more better paymaster and better opportunities, or they will become your competitors. Whether they move to your competitor or they will become your competitor. Today is an age when, if you are a hardworking labor in Indian market scenario in 2018, it is a time when you need to find out, the owners and directors needs labor more, a competent hardworking performer labor far more, by paying them affluently, not the 20-50% up. You have to, and once you are paying them affluently, you have to treat them nicely. It's not just you have simply showed out money. You have to treat them nicely, you have to take care of them sincerely, and that is where this bossy attitude doesn't work so much. If your assistant or your teammate is a real performer, is really putting in efforts, whether he is performing or not, that is secondary issue. That's a relative. Whether he is putting in efforts, he's sincere and committed it, he will simply leave. And that is a big loss to you as a owner, director, as a company, may it be a multinational, small, or whatever it is. It is pretty simple. Your Indian labor have become damn smart. Indian labor who is hardworking, who's come, those people who are sincere and performer like me, who put in their 111% committed efforts, they do not want, my kind of person want both affluent money and a nice treatment, because I do not want backstabbers I've already gone with all this thing. At the second week, I realized that okay, this guy pays affluently to bootlickers and others. We are sufficiently smart as a labor, as a service provider, as a employee to either move towards the competition or to become your competitor, may it be small. So it takes me yeah, I'm in digital marketing business, in consulting, occasionally making videos. It takes me the same amount of time, mindshare time share, to pitch to an Indian employer or Indian client, and that is the same amount of time and mindset and everything to pitch someone on LinkedIn or Facebook or a number of to an international market. Now, when I'm honest and committed on my efforts, or on freelancer or of work to get business, so I really do not understand why I should waste my time and efforts on incompetent Indians who want to pay affluently to the bootlickers and stealing money from a hardworking committed person who is committed to them. By if we do not have time to go with your sweet talks, or we are strictly smart enough to understand that you are only putting in a sweet talk. We as a labor want affluent money out of it. We as a labor understand that it's now the trend when owners need laborers far more competent and performing and sincere labor far more than labor needs owner, because today a competent person, a competent white collared person who's street smart, who's owner, who's a performer, is street smart enough, have the access to internet, and they can definitely have their own small company or small businesses, like the way I have become. Because so it is up to you, or they can be a freelancer like me. And everyone today, in Indian labor scenario, I'm talking about the white collared labor, the educated labor scenario, they are understanding the importance of building a passive income portfolio. It can be investment in real estate, mutual funds, or internet based properties. But I have personally chosen online course and education related properties, uh, but because that's my personal passion area. But almost everyone who is employed in a private company, may it be multinational or small, they understand that the second their boss, howsoever the sweet the boss is telling, it is but obvious the second they get a better employee, the boss will simply leave, will find out excuses to have a better employee on the payroll. And this and the Indian labor is also street smart enough, Indian employees is also street smart enough to understand that, if the bosses are so professional about their work, the howsoever sweet they talk, we are street smart enough to talk you, reciprocate you in the same bootlicking sweet way till the time I am working with you. And the second I have got a better opportunity with your competitors or become your competitors, I will sell your internal secrets and any and everything that is required to become your competitor, or become to be with someone who's really affluently paying in and treating us affluently, whether it's your competitors. So that trends have changed drastically. Get out of the mindset of I am the state, I am the owner. Today it's a if you are a labor, start performing. If you are a worker employee, start performing, put in your 100%, 11%. If you, in short term, whatever be the case, don't get in the trap. But in mid to long term, today is an age of opportunity, which is over flooded with internet. Today is only those age who are ready to consistent and committedly perform and work for it. And over the span of 5-10 years, you end up making a number of alternative source of earning. And it can be possible when you have a salaried employees. You can have alternative source of earning like mutual fund, gold bullion investments, real estate, or internet properties, or whatever it is. But today is a time of those people who are sincere, committed performers, and employees. And the employees should not be scared about the temporary conditions of a owner who still thinks that we are the boss, we are the seats. No, sir, times have changed. Thank you very much.